What's up, guys? Welcome to the Apple event for September 9th of 2014. My name is Crane Miller. I'll be providing commentary today, talking about what we're going to see for this event. We're just about to get it underway in a couple of minutes, so let's start talking really pretty much about what we want to see out of this event. I posted a video yesterday about what I really want to see out of this Apple event, and the main thing is that everybody wants to see pretty much a Apple iPhone 6. Now, what the features are going to have? Well, Apple really hasn't been have any major details leaked thus far. We know that it might have a sapphire type screen instead of the regular Gorilla Glass screen. The design might be updated slightly to match, sort of similar to an iPad's Air design, and we could see a even larger version. So we could potentially see two iPhones here today, a slightly smaller version somewhere around the 4-inch range and a maybe about a 5 to 6-inch range iPhone. Other things that we really want to see here is let's see, what do we also want to see here? We want to see an iPad, a new iPad mini maybe, the debut of iOS 8. We know that's going to be coming out in the fall. We're probably going to get a hard release date today. What else do we want to see? We want to see pretty much those major things. We're pretty wary, though, on wearable technology, something that includes, the iWatch or something along those lines. But the event has started. We have an advertisement that Apple usually leads off with, and this pretty much will sum up the voice of today, what Apple wants to show. So the stream seems to be having some difficulties here today, so hopefully we'll get that through. It seems like a pretty knockout problem here, but they have started the stream thus far. It seems like they're having some issues, but they were just starting with the address of a advertisement, and then we're probably going to be seeing Tim Cook get up on stage, talking about what basically the premise of the entire event is. So we're gonna work here. See, it's streaming, but it looks like they just cut off the video feed there. So we'll maybe see something here in a minute. But we'll be taking your questions. We'll be looking at your questions, your comments, taking in what you guys want to get out of this event. There we go. Now we're back with the advertisement. So Apple is all about clean and simple. And they've always been like that. And the advertisement they're showing off is pretty much summing up what they want it to be. We're going to give the stream just another refresh here. It's lagging up a little bit because there's so many people watching this stream and tuning into the stream just like we are. So we'll try to keep continual coverage. You guys will also be able to hear it in the background, or I've made it so that you guys can hear it in the background while we are talking here and having a lovely discussion, hoping to see the new iPhone 6, maybe a larger iPhone. Who knows? The iPhone 6 XL maybe is what they'll call it. But we're still in the middle of this advertisement that Apple is showing off, which uses that forced perspective thing when you, bring your stretched out text, but then when you look at it from an angle, it doesn't look so stretched out. Apple always does super good with their advertisements. I'm always very pleased to see them. They're pretty cool. So that pretty much rounds out that. Having a huge applause for Tim Cook now as he gets out on stage. So apparently it's... So apparently the stream, I was trying to figure out, the stream was streaming in Japanese. So apparently we got a Japanese stream because there was somebody talking over him with Japanese. So we'll, or Chinese, I really don't know, I'm sorry. So we'll try to get that stream back for you guys. But basically he's just doing his introduction. We're not missing anything too implorable, I guess. We're just waiting for the stream to come right back. Of course, Apple isn't without their technical issues. There always could be technical issues when it comes to live streams and making sure everything works correctly. So we'll try to get that back up here in a minute. It's loading, maybe. We'll see it. And then we'll have it back now. So while we're waiting for the stream to come back and everything to catch up with itself, we want an iPhone 6. It's pretty much the main thing that Apple is doing today. We could be seeing a new iPad, including an iPad mini, and a new, bigger iPad. It's been about a year since that has come out. So Apple is about on a year cycle when it comes to having devices out, including iPhones, iPads, so on and so forth. So I don't see them changing that anywhere in the near future. So I would think that we are going to see a new iPad today, a new iPhone today, and we could, I'm going to say a big could, see something upon the wearable side, whether that's going to be a watch or maybe it's going to be some sort of like pedometer. We don't know yet because we've just kind of talked about this in wearables. We've not really talked about this in what we're actually going to see. So it looks like we're back, but it's cut to an earlier stream or an earlier point when it was panning around. So we're going to see if we can't get caught up here, because that's one of the big things that everybody's having. And I think across the board, no matter who you are, you're probably going to be having the same issues when you're talking about Apple and streaming. Today it seems to be extra bad here. So I'm not sure. Oh, here we go. Okay. So it's being broadcasted. So we have the broadcast back, by the way. It's being broadcasted with so like I said, we're the Japanese kind of is talking in my ear as well, so it's a little bit weird, but I'm trying to listen to Tim Cook. Tim is saying that they're going to be launching the biggest thing ever, basically. It's pretty much what they always say, is the biggest thing ever for this next announcement. So we're going to see it. So he's pretty much getting right off to the bat here. We're going to see exactly what he's talking about. So we have an advertisement playing right now that's basically the reveal of the new iPhone. Here it is. We see some 2 rocker buttons. It looks nice. It looks like that that backing that I was talking about as it's churning there. There's the lock button. You can see the camera protruding a little bit with the flash. It's got a nice curvature design on the outside. Yeah, it's got that back that we were all talking about, that the curvature back, sort of like the iPad Air. That is, what we are. It's what we're gonna see. It's pretty much spot on with what rumors gave us. It's pretty much spot on what we've seen with prototypes that have been like 3D printed and found through Chinese manufacturers. So it's pretty cool to actually see what is pretty much going to be coming out of Apple. We have this nice large iPhone. It looks larger too than what we've seen. It looks like they're having more troubles apparently. But pretty much this is the new device that we're getting. So here it's replaying the ad. We're probably going to be a little bit behind, but there it is. So it's got that curvature that we were talking about with the rocker buttons. We got the the lock button, which I kind of like that lock button a little bit better. It looks like to me. The camera protrudes a little bit from the iPhone, so I'm not so sure how much I'm gonna like that. But it does have that nice curvature of a background. They have a button on the right-hand side now, if you didn't see that. So we'll have to see if that's like a dedicated camera button, if that's going to be some sort of a weird button, because we don't have any buttons on the right side of our phones now, but now there is. So I'm thinking that they're going to implement a right thumb sort of deal. So the stream keeps skipping around, and it's not our fault because I've checked it on 2 different computers. They're pretty much having some streaming issues apparently, but that looks to be the new iPhone. When it comes to shape, specs inside, we'll have to take a look at them. So I think we got the stream back maybe. Phil Schiller looks to be on stage. There he is. Okay, Phil Schiller is on stage, people. We have stream. We don't have audio, though. I'm not hearing anything, so I'm going completely off what I look like. It looks like, yes, we're going to have 2 versions, a larger version and a smaller version. It looks like exactly what we're on about with the larger display in the 5 to 6 inch range. Retina HD display now is what they're calling it. It seems it has the same Touch ID button that we've all been seeing. I'm not exactly sure why we don't have any audio, but we're going to go off visuals right now. They've got basically Phil Schiller right now is pretty much showing us off what the display is made of. It's pretty much Apple's tactics to see, to explain how their devices are. So I now have audio back. It's still the Japanese person talking in my ear, but we'll talk about it. So basically, Apple is pretty much talking about how thin it is, how they've been able to make it, cut off to make it really, really thin. So compared, if you can see in the image, on the one on the left is the iPhone 5. So they call it the iPhone 6 Plus, the larger version. So it's 4.7 inches for the iPhone 6, and the 6 Plus is 5.5 inch. So I'm not so sure about me if I'd like a 5.5 inch phone, but it's nice for those people who do want larger phones. I'd probably be good with the 4.6 inch. So you can see the larger phone is 1920 by 1080. The iPhone 6 is 1334 by 750. So they're getting bumped up in the resolution, but the iPhone 6 is staying at the same pixels per inch. But the larger iPhone is actually getting more pixels per inch. It's getting about 50 to 60 more pixels per inch, but that's due really mainly for the size of the device. So one has 1 million pixels, one has 2 million pixels. Pretty much it's going to be very clear quality. It's going to be very bright displays. In simple terms is what we're going to be seeing from Apple. So somehow they made it even thinner than we have now. It's going to be 69 millimeters, 69 millimeters, and 71 millimeters for the iPhone 6 Plus. Oh, sorry, 6.9. I'm sorry, I can't read this display while I'm talking, apparently. So 6.9 millimeters for the smaller one and 7.1 for the larger one. So these larger displays also are going to... The app developers are now going to have to make for a larger display, so we're going to get nice, bright images on our displays once they start to bring up more applications for these new devices. I'm curious to see when the larger version is going to be announced, because I wouldn't predict that the larger version wouldn't be available until next year. That's still one of my big things, so we'll have to see what Apple says. Right now, we're still talking about the iPhone, talking about how you turn in a landscape now. Maybe we're going to see something more when you turn in landscape. It looks like in the new iPhones, you now have browsing of your inbox in landscape mode. So that'd be kind of cool. So you can browse your inbox and keep it in landscape mode all the time and not have to swipe between different places. So they're talking about basically just more screen real estate. You can have more of the screen to talk to text to play games, which is pretty much what's going on there. So it looks like they're also making it so your home screen will be in vertical mode as well. Something that we haven't seen from Apple for the iPhones up to this point is that you'd always have to go into landscape mode, or not, sorry, landscape mode, vertical mode to browse around, basically. So it'd be nice having a vertical. Whether that will be coming to the iPhone 5S, we'll have to see. It's probably going to be a feature within iOS 8 rather than in the phone itself, but we'll have to see. So pretty much he's just talking about the gestures and using the gestures that are available with the iPhone and making it nice and smooth, and that display and how you want to have it slightly curved, because it is a slightly curved display. They want to basically show that off. So it looks like Apple just killed their stream. Like Apple just killed everything. Interesting. Apple apparently is having issues. So Apple is having issues with their audio streams apparently, and just looking at the chat, there we go. Okay, so we're back up with the display. So it looks like we're behind on it again. They're really having issues. They're really having issues. It's not a very good day for Apple, especially if you want to be looking at this. So it looks like, aha, it's back. I got it. So now they're talking about apps. Phil Schiller is talking about applications for the new iPhone. Pretty much what we're probably going to see is that they're going to bring in a scaling for applications that don't get updated right away. So they will be able to take advantage of the larger displays while still being able to pretty much retain quality. So that's what we'll see for applications. With every new iOS update, it usually will take iPhone developers a while to get their applications updated. They do have early access to the apps, but it can still take a long time development-wise if they need to rebuild, if they need to extend, to test out. So don't expect any amazing iOS 8 quality applications within, the first couple of weeks. You might see something after about the first month, the first 2 months. But for right now, I wouldn't think that we would see anything looking good, basically, until we get into a month or two down the road. So now Phil Schiller is just going on and on about why these are the best phones ever, and they have basically the A8 chip, which is the next generation of processor. Of course, it's 64-bit. That came in with the iPhone S. Talking about how it has 2 billion transistors, which is basically, it allows basically for better processing, for better working on the chip base. So while the chip is smaller, it's got more transistors. Basically, technology is allowing these things to get smaller and smaller and smaller. Pretty much they're just rattling off all of the performance statistics, such as a 25% CPU, 50% GPU. Talking about the performance, it will be, of course, every next iPhone is going to be outdoing its predecessor with its performance, allowing for better graphics, allowing for, blah, 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 blah. We're going to see all of that stuff. It's going to be pretty much, it gets twice as fast, it's even more than twice as fast every time you get a new generation of the iPhone. I mean, Apple really isn't known for these small incremental updates. They're usually major updates, and that's why they have big events for this, is that they want to show off all of these big updates and pretty much show off, hey, look at this cool thing that we have. Like the stream keeps breaking again. It's going to be the same issue if you were to try to stream it yourself. It's just that so many people are trying to stream it, and Apple is and the team that Apple has to get this going isn't doing its job apparently. But yeah, that's the iPhone 6. We'll have a full recap at the end of the live event. We'll talk about the iPhone 6. We'll talk about any other new products. We're probably going to get a view at iOS 8. So we're going to have to we're going to fit in a video there talking about all the new features of iOS 8. So don't worry if you missed this video, if it's lagging out too much. We'll be back pretty much when the event is over with a recap, so you can get all that you need to know ready. So if you want the iPhone or not. Looks like we're back now. So talking about their partners, gaming partners, it looks like for. So basically, they're talking about all of these companies they're bringing on, talking about their partners. They started to do that recently. I've really started to see that they've started bringing on their partners, talking about applications, pretty much filling extra time. So we're taking a look at a game called Vainglory by Super Mega Evil Corp, I think is the company name that they decided to bring out. So they've are demoing it on a new iPhone. I can't tell if that's the iPhone 6 Plus or the iPhone 6, but they are demoing a game, which looks pretty fantastic. I mean, the graphics are pretty spectacular every time they debut games. So it's pretty cool, pretty nice. So it looks like the game is something as a it looks like it's going to be an arena type gaming. I'm trying to decipher what they're saying amidst the person talking Chinese in my ear. So if I pause for a second to understand, it's probably because there's somebody talking Chinese in my ear. So I'll try to get this as best as I can. So it's all about graphics. It's all about showing off particle effects. It's all about taking advantage of all the CPUs. Now, there's a very small subset of games within Apple that does this, but the games that do that are very nice. They allow you to, I don't know, just take full advantage, and there's very few games that do that. So I'm glad that Apple allows you to do that. They've definitely taken the iPhone to a next level. So now they've just cut off the audio. Aha! Nope, I still have somebody talking Chinese in my ear. Never mind. Thought they switched it over, but nope. So it looks, I guess what people are saying, it looks League of Legends like. I don't play the game personally, so I'm not too aware of what League of Legends is like, but that pretty much is what this game looks like, apparently, is what I'm being told on the iPhone. And that is a guy on stage, by the way, not a girl. Both of them are guys. So it's all about performance. It's all about graphical computing. So that's Vainglory. It's going to be on iOS 8. It's going to launch with the iPhone. So if that looks like a game you like, because apparently it's something Dota-like and something League of Legends-like, it's very So Apple is just basically just wants to show off what's possible with their iPhones, what you can take full advantage of. Because this is not only a marketing campaign for people to get their devices, but it's also a marketing campaign to get developers to come and develop for the platform. Apple has a very wide user base when it comes to applications. It has a very wide user base when it comes to developers as well, and they want developers to create great applications. So this is not only a marketing for Apple to consumers, but also Apple to developers as well. They've also bumped up the battery life, it looks like, and I don't know how you can do that when your devices get so thin. And so you can get, looks like 16 days of standby with the iPhone 6 Plus, 10 days of standby for the iPhone 6. If you're listening to audio, that's 50 hours versus 80 hours. So you could almost, I would say you could almost go 2 days without charging the phone. And that's something that has been very interesting to me. We started out with these, dumb phones that you could not charge for 3 or 4 days, but now you have an iPhone where you got to pretty much charge it every night or every, 12 hours. And so Apple is trying to compensate, and they're bringing up the battery life a lot more than we've seen. So the next generation motion processor will also be coming around, the M8. This motion coprocessor is basically everything that goes from, the motion of your phone to the tilting degrees to your altitude, stuff like that. So it allows your phone basically to track your workouts and your activity. So it's pretty much you can turn your phone into a pedometer. It's on you all the time. So why not? So, pretty much we're going over the specific features, relative elevation, of course, showing a dashboard, showing of your elevation. So that'd be cool on your hiking, so you can maybe see, how high you really traveled when you're going up a mountain, maybe. Apple has been huge with Nike, and they're always mentioning the Nike running app and what it can do for you. They've been huge partners with Apple, Nike has. So we now have advanced wireless. Of course, LTE, giving fast speeds. They say that you can get up to 150 megabit per second. So whether you're going to get that from any of your cellular providers, we'll probably have to see, but it is capable. It supports 20 LTE bands. So that means you can use it pretty much on any LTE-based carrier. They're working with 200 carriers, so it will probably be available in your country as well. And a new technology, voice over LTE. Yes, this is something of a hidden thing that we've kind of been wanting to see from the iPhone. People were kind of talking about it. Basically, it's talking over LTE to people instead of talking over the normal 2G service or 3G service. Looks like in the U.S. we'll get it on Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile. It has Wi-Fi 802.11ac, which we've already seen on their laptops. I've got a laptop right here that's got AC, but now with the new Wi-Fi, we're going to get AC, which is going to be pretty much faster and better. So Wi-Fi calling is going to be a thing now, so you don't have to use your minutes. That's going to be a good thing. So when you're basically when you're connected on Wi-Fi, when you're calling somebody, you can call them over Wi-Fi, which you've been able to do that with the Google app. Now they'll be able to do that with the phone itself now, and it's integrated in, so you won't need a lot of these features. And you'll notice that a lot of these features actually take from applications that have been basically developed for Apple. They're taking the best applications that have been developed, and they're pretty much turning it into a native feature for Apple, which I think is cool. I mean, but I would hope that they would give credit where credit is due. But they're just trying to create a better product, and that's what they're doing. So now we're talking about photos now, comparing. We're probably going to see comparisons between the last camera and this camera, professional photo versus the camera on this thing. And pretty much, I believe at least, that any images that you take with the iPhone, it really depends on your situation. So you can't really say, well, our camera is better, because in this situation, maybe it'll be just as good. So it's going to be an 8 megapixel camera. It's going to be a 2.2 aperture, which is pretty wide. It's a good thing. And they have a new sensor, apparently, inside that's going to allow you to focus better. Call this focus pixels. This is something that's already in DSLRs today, where they have a specific pixel inside of a processor that allows for focusing, better focusing. And we already have this with DSLRs. We're now going to see this with Apple. They're working this into their phones because it's pretty much a feature that everybody has. Because when you think of having a camera with you, when you think of taking a picture, what do you think of? A big DSLR or a smaller phone that you have with you wherever you go? Of course, you're going to think of the phone that you have wherever you go. So you can just kind of just snap pictures wherever you are. That is pretty much becoming your main camera right here, is your phone. So Apple is doing what they can to create better and better cameras to allow you to get the best photos out of it. Now, I'd like to see maybe a 1080p front-facing camera. That'd be kind of cool. I know they updated it to 720p, which is pretty cool, but 1080p will have to see what they decide there to do with it. So we're seeing these photos that are taken with an iPhone. I would really love to have seen how they were taking these photos, because if this was taken with an iPhone 6, it would have to be maybe a prototype, or maybe it was the camera assembly outside of the camera. I would really like to see their setup for taking these photos, because I'm a bit wary on how these photos are actually taken. But nonetheless, I think the camera is sufficient for being inside of your phone. For being an everyday camera, it's good. So with panoramas, apparently you can take up to 43 megapixels of photos, which is pretty nice. I also don't have the Chinese person talking in my ear. Yay, they fixed that audio, apparently. So basically, they're making up names for things, and basically image signal processors, what they're talking about, is basically processing the image to make it look the best, which I would rather do that on my own, but that's me, not Apple and everybody else. I'm a bit of a person who wants to do that myself. So they still have that multiple picture technology where you can hold down the shutter button and take a group of pictures and then choose the best one out of that group. I personally haven't used that feature with the iPhone 5S because I usually take my time to take pictures, but for somebody who might be snapping pictures, that might be something that they want to see out of the iPhone. So it looks like the stream died again. There we go. So image stabilization, that's one thing that I really want to see in the iPhone is having image stabilization. It looks like they've got optical image stabilization now, which is actually something that I've been wanting to see from this iPhone. Basically a physical way of getting a focus on the iPhone to get a nice stable picture. So usually it was done in the camera and it was all right, but having a physical one that can do that is something a lot better than what you can do inside of a processor or inside of a phone, having an optical way. So that's probably why it's bulging out a little bit from the iPhone, is that it has that optical image stabilizer. Now, basically, he's going to the argument that I just made, where you don't see a lot of dedicated cameras anymore. You see iPhones. You see people with their phones taking pictures. And what Apple wants to do with that is they want to be your next point-and-shoot camera. Your point-and-shoot camera has become your phone. They want it to be better. And that's pretty much the bottom line here, is that they are creating a better camera to replace your point-and-shoot phone. Point-and-shoot camera. And that's pretty much where Apple is right now. They're up to the quality that you can pretty much get with a iPhone camera. It's going to be pretty much the same quality as you can get from a point-and-shoot, where the point-and-shoot will be pretty much a little bit more dedicated to, the camera functions. It is up to pretty much the same quality that I've seen with everything. So, of course, you can take a 1080p video at 30 or 60 frames per second now, which is nice, 60 frame per second video. So slow-mo is still going to be in this version with 120 frames per second. Of course, that's going to be you're going to be limited. But now, apparently, you can do it at 240 frames a second, so they probably are using that optical image stabilization and the added processing power to now make it 240 frames per second, which is going to create something nice and slow, which is pretty cool. I mean, I don't use slow-mo on a regular basis, and I don't think a lot of people use slow-mo on a regular basis, but when you have it available to you, and it looks pretty neat, and you're able to create something cool, sometimes, you know, it will be something that you want to see. So we'll have to see how that goes. I mean, I don't really use that feature a lot to justify it, but we'll have to see. So it looks like Apple is still having issues with their service, so we'll have to pretty much wait to see what comes out of Apple. Maybe. Well, we'll talk about it. Basically, Phil Schiller is just going to go over all the small little features that you can get out of your iPhone. I mean, the main ones are there. You can use it to call. You can use voice over LTE, which is something that everybody's pretty much starting to switch to now. You can have a more dedicated camera now with the optical image stabilization, the added quality of the camera. You can replace it with your point-and-shoot camera, basically. You can also have a larger screen with that Touch ID. I haven't seen anything on that dedicated button yet. I don't know if he actually talked about it, or we missed it with this live stream because we're still trying to get it back, and I don't know what we're missing there. But I would assume that's some sort of quick button to take pictures, maybe, or bring up Siri, or you maybe could customize it. We'll have to really have to see. So obviously, Apple's having issues, as is everybody else that'll be watching this stream. So pretty much, my predictions were pretty much spot on. With we're going to see a larger iPhone. It's going to have more features. There we go. Now we're back with more HDR videos. Basically, we're still in camera stuff. So we didn't miss too much. Of course, it will be launching with iOS 8, so I would assume that they're going to launch iOS 8 when the iPhone launches, or pretty close to. So now we have another advertisement here for Apple. Or is this the first advertisement? Yep. So that is something that I think is pretty cool, is that you can share audio, video. You can basically, Messages is becoming a WhatsApp type message application. So it's not just text messages in the Messages application. You can also add videos and audio messages, and you have rich media inside of those text messages now, showing pictures, showing maps when you're told something. So it's kind of cool. The dashboard on the phone, I don't really use it that much, and I don't think people really use it all that often. But they're expanding that, allowing more rich media inside of it, allowing you to customize it a little bit more. So you might use it a lot more if they're allowing you to customize everything. So now they're basically going everything that we've been told about iOS 8 at the last meeting at WWDC. So you're allowed to use now Touch ID to unlock applications. So instead of typing in a passcode, a secondary passcode in an application, you can now use Touch ID. They've got new designs. The camera's HD. They've got the new processor. The co-processor is in there. The voice over LTE. They've got a list that goes just on and on and on and on. And we'll touch over the major points when I do the recap video. But that's pretty much what you can see from the next iPhone, the iPhone 6. iPhone 6 Plus is what they're calling it, the iPhone 6 Plus. Of course, they've got their own Apple-branded cases, which are still in that silicone type design in multiple colors. Leather cases as well. They introduced that only a couple years ago, and they're still producing them. So the iPhone 6 will come in the space gray, the silver, and the gold. So now we're getting a cost. So on 2-year contract, the iPhone 6 will be $199, like we've seen for other phones as well. So it's pretty much the same price points as we're going to see: $199, $299 for the larger version, and $399 for the even larger version. So they're doing a 16. So it's a 16 gigabyte, a 64 gigabyte at the mid level. So at the high level, we're probably going to see 128 gigs. Yep. So at $400 on a 2-year contract, you get 128 gigs, with $299 being 64 gigs. So here's the 6 Plus now. So it comes in space gray, silver, and gold, like we've seen. It's going to be at $299, $399, and $499. So it's bumped up about $100. 16 gigs. It's going to be 16 gigs. It looks like 64 gigs and 128 gigs. So it's going to be the same storage on the home front. The 5S is going down to $99, of course, and the iPhone 5C is now going down to free on a 2-year contract. So you have pretty much that lineup. So if you're 3 generations behind, you can get a new iPhone now. So here we go. September 19th is when they're going to start shipping. So in just 2 weeks, it looks like. So that will be in the U.S. and 8 other countries. You're going to pre-order September 12th. So if you want to get that date locked in, September 12th is pre-order. So they're going to try to be in 115 countries by the end of 2014. So it could be in your country if you are watching internationally by the end of this year. iOS 8, we're probably going to see being launched right around the iPhone. It goes from everything from the iPhone 4S and on, including the iPad 2 and on as well, with the iPad minis and the iPad Air and the iPad with Retina display. It'll be available September 19th. So you'll get it a day before the iPhone the iPhone 6 and the 6 Plus get released. So now you have a timeline, basically, of what you're going to be seeing and where you're going to be seeing it at. Tim Cook looks to be back on stage now. So that basically wraps it up for the iPhones. Now, come on, iPads. Let's go, iPads. So Tim Cook is talking about how all our devices work together. So I think this is going to allude into another product. Maybe. We'll see. So pretty much Tim Cook is going on and on about how they want to make, bigger or better and bigger and stuff like that. So it looks like we got a nice advertisement of the gold iPhone. Still want to know what that button does on the side. I think we missed that. So they're just showing off the features pretty much of the new iPhones, or both new iPhones. This will probably be one of the first advertisements that come out. I love the simplicity of Apple's advertisements too. It's pretty spot on. So it looks like their campaign is bigger than bigger. Pretty much iPhone 6, iPhone 6 Plus. So that's going to be pretty much the first advertisement that will be rolling out from Apple. So apparently the advertisement featured Justin Timberlake and Jimmy Fallon doing their kind of musical thing that they've been known to do, pretty much. So pretty much showing off advertisements that are going to feature Jimmy Fallon and Justin Timberlake. They're pretty much going to be bantering, doing what they are known to do together, pretty much. So the stream is lagging out again or something. So it's pretty much what we're going to see is from this new iPhone is pretty nice. I'm still waiting to see my my iPad maybe. We'll see. Uh-oh. He's wanting to talk about an entirely new category of service. What is this going to be? Wallet. A wallet. Uh-oh. Let's see what we're going to get here. They want to replace the wallet. Come on, stream. This is not the time to be... They want to replace the wallet, so I'm assuming NFC, maybe? A digital card? So they're talking about transactions and all that stuff. So I wonder if this is going to be more pointed at consumers or businesses. So pretty much they're showing how payments work today. Now we're back to Phil Schiller. They are not very good right today on their streaming. But they were showing an advertisement basically on how they want to replace. So basically you got to dig through your purse, get your card out, and then they got to ask for ID. They've got to verify it, and then they'll swipe it. So it's 3 or 4 processes. And you got to put your card back after they swipe it, and you get your stuff. So it's about a 6-step process. I've lost audio as well. Oh, there we go. Now I got audio back. So basically, they want to. They basically just want to create a better and more secure system. Is what it's looking like. You're talking about exposed numbers on your card. You know, you have that exposed numbers on your card, the magnetic strip. So we're probably going to see something NFC related. So we're probably going to see something along those lines. So I think Apple is going to try to lead replacing credit cards, or the plastic cards, not credit cards, just blue plastic cards. So a mobile wallet. What do you have in store for us, Apple? What's Apple? Apple. Never seen anything like this coming from Apple. They were probably leaking iPhone 6 to keep us distracted. I'm still interested though to see what this is going to entail. This is very interesting. I'm very attentive to see what Apple is going to have for us. So they're calling it Apple Pay. Interesting. Okay, Apple Pay. Are you a physical thing? Are you a digital thing? What are you? It's NFC. I knew it. It's NFC. I knew it. We were talking about it. That was one of those hidden things that people wanted to see. It is here. So, pretty much, it looks like you hold your phone up to the device. You also put your thumb on the Touch ID, so it will authenticate your Touch ID plus the NFC will pay for it. So now we're getting Eddie Q to stage to describe more about it. So this is kind of cool. I agree. Plastic cards with magnetic strips and their codes on it is something that people have have long wanted to replace. This is going to be something interesting, calling it Apple Pay. It's pretty much NFC technology is what it is. NFC technology plus that two-factor authentication with having your Touch ID. So the iPhone, looks like the iPhone 6 will get Touch ID with it, or not Touch ID, excuse me, NFC with it, and Touch ID will use them together to secondary authenticate you. So it uses Apple's secure Touch ID to encrypt it, and it will then use it to basically authenticate on the Touch ID, which would be kind of cool. But if you're going to use this, you have to be very security conscious. So you'd want a secure password set up on your phone. You'd want to make sure that you have your Touch ID set up as well. So if your phone ever gets stolen, you know that it probably won't be broken into. And Apple has, of course, done their part in pretty much to get it out of the way. So apparently, to add a card, you take a picture of the card, then it redirects you to the bank, it verifies it, and then it will add the card. So it's another secondary authentication. This is kind of cool, but also kind of scary. iPhones are one of the probably most stolen things out there. So I'm interested to see how they're going to be making this more secure and how people will secure using this, because I would hope that if you integrated something like this, you would be very secure with what you were doing. All right, so pretty much what he's talking about is how when it's connected to your bank account, it's connected with a unique number to your bank account. So it's not your debit card number. It is your number that is only associated with the iPhone. So you can easily detach it and basically call up your bank and detach it. And they're saying that they're using an encryption and allowing one is basically when you do a transaction, that transaction card number basically is going to be a unique number that is only used once per transaction. So if you go to Starbucks and you buy a drink, it will get one account number when you pay with your debit card. But if you go to Safeway or something to buy groceries and you use it as a payment system again, it will use a different card number basically when you swipe it there. So they're trying pretty much to become as secure as possible. So if it ever gets stolen, it looks like you can use Find Your iPhone or Find My iPhone to disable payments, to disable payment platforms as well. So you can basically, if your iPhone gets stolen, you can go and turn it off, and the iPhone will never use that information or display that information again if you go and turn it off from Find My iPhone, which is kind of cool. So basically what they're trying to do now is they're saying Apple doesn't know what you're going to buy. Apple doesn't care what you're going to buy. Apple is just providing a payment platform. So none of the data gets sent to Apple. Everything is done between your bank, the phone, and you. And then that phone, it's all encrypted, and they never do anything. So instead of typing in your PIN, it looks like you use your Touch ID basically as your PIN. So work with American Express, MasterCards, and Visa, it looks like. They'll probably add more in the future. So they're partnering with Citi, Bank of America, Capital One, Wells Fargo, Chase. It's basically all of the big banks. So they're going to pretty much partner with them to be able to add it to your phone. So if you have it at an obscure bank that isn't partnered with them, you probably won't be able to add it. But that might come in the future. This is, of course, just the launching. So basically, what they're saying is that they're partnering with all these big stores as well to make sure that they can get you the product and be able to use Apple Pay. And apparently, it keeps switching back and forth. So you can be able to use it at McDonald's to buy your burgers, because everybody wants to buy their burgers with debit cards and credit cards. So basically, any place where NFC is available, you'll be able to use this. And they're also partnering with them to allow you pretty much to basically sorry, excuse me. They're partnering with these companies to get NFC technology at the registers, is what they're saying. Of course, since Apple owns Disney, or no, Apple does not own Disney. Never mind. All right, well, it'll be rolling out to Disney. So basically, these retailers will be rolling out with this NFC technology and be supporting Apple Pay. So now, what about online payments? Well, that's pretty much how I buy stuff. I buy stuff online, usually by Amazon. Amazon Prime rocks. So let's see how they're going to tackle online payments. So it looks like with applications that support it, you'll have one-touch checkout that will allow you basically to, when it asks you for all your payment information inside of an application, you can just use your one-touch of your Touch ID system to check out, which might be interesting. But I'm pretty much interested to see, what about on my computer? Can I use it? Maybe getting a one-time code on my computer or something like that. Because I really don't buy much from my phone. If I'm going to buy something, I sit down at a computer and I will then buy something. So it'll be interesting to see how Apple will do the desktop type payments. I don't know why though. It's hopped back to starting over. There we go. It's really freaky. So you've got all those. So it'll only come with the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus, and it will be an update. It'll be an upcoming update in October. So don't expect it just yet. It will be debuting soon, and it's only if you have a 6 or a 6 Plus. So if you aren't going to be having one of those phones, unfortunately, you can't use it just yet. But it's nice. So when you finally get updated, it'll be interesting to see how this catches on. And if it does catch on, how much it will catch on. So I think Apple is going to have one more thing. Because Tim Cook basically said, we've gone for enough content to gone through another day. But he's saying they're not quite finished yet. They have one more thing, which I'm going to pretty much say right now it's a new iPad. Or iWatch. We'll have to see. iPad, iWatch, iPad, iWatch, iPad, iWatch. Which one's going to be? Ooh. Trying to see what he's alluding to here. Hardware, software, and services. He's building up suspense. Okay, so he's alluding to the new products. I'm going to say iWatch. So, come on. Get to it. The stream paused. All right. People are getting excited now. So here we go. Here we go. What is it going to be? Intensity. Hold for it. Hold for it. We got over Earth. iWatch. Called it. I can tell right now it's an iWatch. Woo! iWatch. iWatch. We're getting an iWatch. All right. All right. It looks nice. Look at that thing. Look at that. That is pretty cool. So it looks like you can customize bands. I want it. All I can tell myself is I want it. I want it, I want it, I want it. And it's got that sapphire glass. Oh, that looks cool. It's got a little kind of twisty wheel, it looks like. And they've got this kind of magnetic holding. That'll be interesting to see. That. Oh, it can be gold. Oh, they're calling it the Apple Watch. Okay. So they have fun designs if you want it to be fun. Or they have metal bands. So it looks like they've got pretty much endless possibilities. That is cool. That is something. That is cool. It is the Apple Watch, and people have been waiting for it, and we finally have it. It looks like it's Apple Watch, not iWatch. It's an interesting design. I'll tell you that. It is an interesting design. I won't go any further than that. Because I don't have it. I'm not going to be able to, I won't test it out until I can actually get it. Yep. It's called Apple Watch. This might get me to wear a watch. So basically, they've made this to be the creme de la creme of watches. So it's going to be very customizable, it looks like, with different bands. So you can choose fun bands, you can choose, women's, male bands, whatever you want. It looks like you'll be able to interchange that how you want. So it looks like it will be integrating with the health app as well to report on your statistics. So like walking, running, stuff like that. So we'll have to see what they're going to put in this iWatch. It looks pretty hefty for right now. So we'll have to see how this user interface is. It's going over user interface right now. We know that Apple has that all touch interface, but for a watch, for having it on your wrist, it's got to be small. So they have done something interesting. It looks like with that little scroll thing on the wheel on the side. So we'll have to see how they're going to bring in a user interface. This is something that I've been wanting to see is how they're going to integrate a user interface into this and how you're going to be able to navigate it. Because I think that's one of the most crucial things. Navigation of a watch, it's a tricky thing. So they've got to get it right if they want this to go well. So it looks like it's going to integrate a combination of touch and the wheel. A little dial. Interesting. Interesting. So they're going to use the wheel basically for all of your navigation, is what they're going to be doing. Interesting. So that's going to be interesting. So it's a combination of the dial turning plus pushing in and out, basically, of the dial to go to the home screen to browse through. So Apple basically wants a device that's going to be on you all the time, aside from the iPhone. It wants it to be right at your fingertips, pretty much. I'm curious on price point. I think I'm sold on it right now just because I've wanted an interactive watch. You know, I'm not a watch person. But I'm curious on price point. As I sneeze. I'm sorry, excuse me. So Johnny Ive is going to be given his one-of-a-kind new thing. I love Johnny Ive's narration. He narrates very well. He knows how to sell a product. I'll give him that. So basically, Apple's thing is they want you to wear this thing. They want it to be something that you have on you. It's something that you cannot leave the house with. You must have it with you. That's what a watch is in any way, but Apple wants it to be that watch. They don't want a traditional watch. They want it to be that watch. So it's going to be interesting. So he's using his long form words basically to sell this watch to you. I'm curious, like I said, on price point. I'm also curious on battery life. So, yep, it's a combination of touch and the wheel. Looks like you can use, or you can browse photos. Looks like it will be like your pedometer for walking, maybe for your health app, for maps, so you can navigate with just your wrist. Oh, I need to turn left now. Alarms. Control your music, view your calendar. This is very interesting. I'm very excited. I'm giddy with excitement right now. So it looks like you'll be able to reply to text messages with the phone with pre-canned responses, or with emotions, or dictating via Siri. So what he's showing off now is that you can take your friend who has an iWatch, and you can basically draw on the screen and send it to them to give them like a touch. Interesting. Interesting. Huh. So it's still sapphire display. Hmm. So I'm so captivated right now by Johnny Ives talking. So it's hard to talk right now. But basically, they are going to be using the touch abilities beyond just touching, but also pressure of the touch as well. So we'll add basically another layer of getting a menu, pretty much. Huh. So there's basically a motor inside that allows vibrations. Interesting. So on the back, there's four lenses basically. They're for viewing your basically your heart rate. It can use infrared to do that, and so it'll allow you for activities. So it'll allow you to track your activities without having to have a separate pedometer. You can now use your phone, or not your phone, your watch. So apparently, the back of the watch is basically how you charge it as well. It uses that inductive technology that Apple has been using with some other stuff. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of watch faces they'll have available. Interesting. All of this stuff. Still concerned about battery life. It looks cool. I'm very excited to see this. I don't know about you guys. I'm very excited. So you got alarms, you got world clocks, you've got weather right there on the phone. Huh. So adding straps, it's basically that little button press at the bottom, and you can basically slide it on and off. So there's a sports strap, a leather loop with magnets. So they've got a leather modern buckle. So they've got a classic one as well for all of you classic people out there where you pull it and then lock it in. And they've also got stainless steel links as well. Interesting. If I get this, I'd probably get this black sports strap, I think. So there's also a stainless steel mesh one with a magnet. as well. So for all you guys out there with wanting different designs. So it looks like there's a smaller and a larger size, depending on if you want a larger or smaller one, depending on the size of your wrist. Interesting. So there's Apple Watch, Apple Watch Sport, and Apple Watch Edition. So basically, it's going to be cheap, more expensive, even more expensive is what it's going to be. Interesting. So this is the Apple Watch is basically going to be. It looks like the between the two, maybe. So the sport one basically is it's basically built around a stronger case. So if and then for all of you people with money out there, there's the Apple Watch Edition, which is basically it's gold plated. It's interesting. Interesting. Probably just get the Apple Watch. Probably don't need the sport. That's personally my opinion, though. So, Apple Watch. What do we think about it? Is it something that you would want? Are those features that enlighten you enough to want to get this? And are you going to get it? I haven't been a watch person, but this might make me get a watch. I mean, it's something that allows a color screen with customization, with doing it what you want to do. The thing with watches is that it does pretty much one thing, but having the ability to interface with your phone, to reply to text messages, to anything like that. I'm very excited, pretty much, to see this. So we'll have to see what price points are, what battery life is like, stuff like that. So I'm sure Tim will now tell us all of that. Tim is fairly excited, it looks like, on this, and people are, at least people in the audience, receiving it very, very well. So we're going to get a live demo now from the VP of the Apple Watch division, pretty much. What we're getting. It's hard to show off a watch on a stream. So you must have an iPhone with an Apple Watch. So hopefully you have an iPhone. I wonder which iPhones they'll be available for. I really like that application screen. It looks like it would be messy, but it's not. Interesting. So you can arrange that as well, basically putting the apps you want where you want them. So pretty much we're just getting a demo right now, showing off the different abilities, all these faces that you can have. So you can pretty much customize it to your liking. So not only can you customize the watch abilities, but you can also even deeper customize it with customizing the elements that are on the watch face. So you can really pretty much make it what you want. It looks very nice. Like I keep coming back to, I'm pretty. I want to see what battery life is going to be like. So it's all flashy. I mean, it's. I won't lie, that's all what it is. But pretty much flashy. Um, it looks cool though. It looks cool, and it looks like it will be something that people would want. It'll be interesting to see if developers can make watch faces. Because we really haven't seen anything about. So it looks like it'll be able to integrate with third-party apps. So it'll be interesting to see what third-party apps can do and how they leverage the Apple Watch. So you can use the watch to control the music from not only your phone, but also your Mac as well if you're playing it with iTunes. So it allows you to control, which is nice. Because, if your phone's in your pocket with your headphones, you can look at your watch, play, pause, go to the next application. It's very nice. And, of course, classic Coldplay for Apple. So you have all the common controls that you would think of right there on the watch. So it's all about subtle notifications as well, as what he's basically explaining. When you do get a notification, it will buzz on your wrist, but it will be quiet and nonchalant, so that nobody can hear it except for you, and or know about that you get a notification except for you. So you get common things like text messages, calendar notifications, stuff like that. So it's pretty much the simple things that you can do on the iPhone. So it looks like the watch will analyze the text. So if it looks like it's asking you a question or something like that, it will make it a quick response. So there's animated emoji icons that you can send back with messages from your phone. You can also dictate, but also send voice messages as well. So not only could you dictate and have it read out your message into a text message, but you could also have it dictation and then send them that recording, which is pretty interesting. I'm pretty much very interested to see how this was going to be used in everyday life, because of course they can show you usage scenarios. Of course they can show you what they want to show you. It'll be very interesting to see what they'll do. So Siri is integrated into Apple Watch as well, as along with other third-party applications. So you can use all the parts of Siri within your watch, and it will connect with your phone. So you can use it just like you use it Siri, with asking it questions, responding to you. So you'll be able to go all through that, which is very interesting. Now, this is a feature that he's about to show off that I haven't been. It's not that I haven't been interested in. I'm just curious. You can view your photos on it. You can, take your photos from your phone and look at them on your watch. But looking at them on my watch, though, I'm not sure I would ever do that. I'm not sure that's a feature that I would ever use. You can definitely zoom in and see a photo full size on the watch face, but I'm just, I don't know. I don't think I'm too hot about that. I don't think it'll be a very used application. We'll just see, though. Maps does look interesting, though. He's about to show up Maps. Maps, it would be great if you're walking and need directions and you want to look at that. That will be perfect for you. You don't have to bring out your phone and look and keep looking down at your phone. You can just look at your wrist, and it would have all your directions there. I think that's a great technology, something that I would use, something that I can see a lot of people using. Viewing that photos thing, I'm not too hot on the idea of that. So Maps also allows you to search by places around you. So not only can you get directions, but you can search places around you, such as finding places like grocery stores, places to eat. You can find that right on your watch. It would be interesting as well, because you don't have to go into your application, maybe open up Yelp, open up a phone. So it'll be very interesting to see how they do this. So I think this is a very good complement to the iPhone 6 and the iPhone 6 Plus. I think it'll work great with those. I think it's something that would work perfectly with it. So it uses those walking directions, which is good. So I'm interested in this. I'll tell you I'm interested in this. Definitely, we're probably getting it for review. Whether or not I'll keep it, we'll see. For now, I'm excited. They're bringing in the right amount of features that I've been wanting to see. I want to see whether the phone will integrate with the watch or if it'll integrate with your phone. But you also use that digital touch communication. The usage of the tap feature, though, I'm also interested in. I like that particle effect that it gets. It'll particle out, which is cool. So it'll be interesting to see how you can use touch commands and how you'll be able to So, along with this touch feature, it looks like, is that you can then use that vibration feature to basically feel each other, basically, so you can hear their heartbeat. So I'm very interested in this. It looks interesting. I'm excited to see where Apple will take this, how it will pretty much go in the market with what they're planning to do with it. So probably now see about app development. App development is what I'm interested in. I'm interested to see what they can take from the watch, how they can manipulate it, how they can make applications for it, what they can add on to. I'm interested in their app store for the watch. So now we're getting into the developing side, is what I'm getting from this. So developers will be able to take their abilities to send notifications. Developers will take the abilities to show you notifications on the watch. I'm going to be very wary of this because I know there's a lot of iPhone applications out there that will send you push notifications that are pretty much spam, like be sure to like us, or why don't you come back and play the game. I don't like those notifications. I like real actionable notifications that I want to see. So we'll have to see how it combats that, to see if in new applications that people will make now in the future will overuse the notification system. So we'll have to see that. I'm interested in it. You'll be able to use this for traveling. You'll be able to use this for checking into hotels. So it'll give you all the information that you need to know pretty much on maybe your upcoming travel or your next flight, or checking into your hotel right on your watch. That'll allow you to check in, see when your flight's leaving, stuff like that. And a new application they were talking about is City Mapper and Pinterest. It will allow you to use the integration, basically, of the watch to get the most out of it. BMW is making an application that will allow you to find your car. Might be interesting. But only for you BMW people. Honeywell will integrate with their products to allow you to control the temperature in your house, to control lights. Nike will have integration as well. So you'll have a lot of initial integration, but we'll probably see a lot more a couple of months down the road. So don't expect anything right off the bat with the iWatch in terms of really in-depth applications. Those will come later as soon as they get access and they can start building applications, because the app development process does take a while. So we'll have to see how they do that. It's going to be an interesting thing to see how they can take pretty much the abilities the watch can take and how they can make a good interface to it. So I'm very interested to see what they can do with this and how they use this pretty much to encourage people to use the watch. I would venture to say that it will be very interesting at the start, but probably won't catch on until the next generation of the iPhone. So having this watch is also about being active, and it will track your activity. It will allow you to pretty much allow you to track your activity. It'll allow you to track your workouts as well. And that's something that we've seen already with the abilities of the new health kit. So now we're going to see another advertisement video. So let's recap here. We've got an iPhone 6. We've got an iPhone 6 Plus. Those are going to be the big things that are going to be out. They're at the same price points as you would think, $199, $299, $399, $299, $399, and $499 for the Plus version. So with the watch, though, we're going to see a lot more activity-based around it. So it's going to be pretty much they're going to want you to be more active with this. They're going to want you to use it in a way that you can track your health. That's one of the big things that Apple is pretty much pushing with the iOS 8 is Health Kit. So this works directly with Health Kit to track your activities, to track stuff like that. So they want you to be active with this, but they also want you to buy the product, of course. So there's the activity app that they're really pushing that we're seeing right now, which it basically gives you goals for standing and moving and stuff like that to track, pretty much. It's interesting. I feel like a broken record, but it pretty much is, you know, a continual thing. So it basically they're just going over everything along the lines of what it can do, having your activity there. So basically, your watch will give you goals. You know, stand up this many times. Work out this much per day, and basically they want you to get that 30 minutes of working out per day with the watch. So it'll be interesting. It's all about activity. Is what they're doing. I think that people will. The design of the Apple Watch will. I'm trying to formulate thoughts here and to tell you about it. I'm thinking that people are going to become more accustomed to the watch as it starts to get out there. And I think people talking about the design is pretty much the first look of the watch. But I think that, you know, Apple has a lot of good developers behind it, and they probably made it the way that it is because of how they want you to work with the watch, and that's how they've been able to do it. Yeah, one thing that I am interested to see is how waterproof it is. Of course, maybe you can't, go swimming with it. It'd probably be a bad thing, and I can almost guarantee you can't go swimming with it. But you'd be able to, get it wet if you're washing your hands in the sink or something along those lines. It's all about health and fitness. So pretty much, Tim Cook is talking about how he uses it and how you can use it. It'll definitely be a usage-based scenario device. Whether or not you can use it as you want to use it is going to be how you use it. Probably didn't make sense. Basically, if you get an Apple Watch, it's going to be a usage-based scenario on how you use the watch. Whether you only use the watch face, whether you only use it to reply to text messages, it's going to be a use-by-use scenario. And having the ability to integrate with the iPhone is going to be something that is going to be very interesting to see, is going to be something that people, I believe, want to see as well. So it works from the iPhone 5, the iPhone C, the 5S, the 6, and the 6 Plus. So you'll be able to use it pretty much from the iPhone 5 and up. So pretty much, if you have an iPhone, you at least have an iPhone 5. And if not, you can get an iPhone 5 for like $99 or free, so on a 2-year contract. So you should be okay on that part to use that. So the inductive charging looks cool. I'm still interested to see with battery life. I haven't seen anything on battery life yet. So Apple Watch will be $350. Not a very bad price point for what the watch can do. I think that's a perfect price point for Apple, $350. And it will be available next year. So it won't be available soon. It'll be next year. Like I pretty much was predicting that we wouldn't see, if we did see an iWatch, we probably wouldn't see it until 2015. So that's pretty good. Probably still working out a lot of the bugs. There's probably a lot of bugs in the system because basically they having to create a new user interface, a new system, pretty much for the watch. So we'll have to see what they do. But I'm very interested in the Apple Watch. I will be following it. We will be following it as well. We'll probably get one to review, so that will be fun. But new iPhone, pretty nice. We'll have to see what we can do with it. So the iPhones, I'm very excited about. They're thin. They've got that new design that I really like the new design. I think it's nice. The larger, the 6 Plus, I don't think I'm too hot about right now. I don't think I would really want the 6 Plus. I think the iPhone 6 is probably the nice sweet point on where I would want a phone, personally. But for those of you guys who want larger phones, the larger phone is now there. Apple is now catering to what you guys want. And it looks like it'll be working with the Apple Watch as well, which will be nice. So you can hold your wrist up to the scanner, and so it can work right into the Apple Watch. It'll be nice. We'll see how they have the security for that. So this is it. So pretty much, it looks like Tim Cook's wrapping up. Yep. Pretty much Tim Cook is wrapping up. We'll have a full recap soon up on the YouTube page. iPhone 6, iPhone 6 Plus. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you like the iPhone 6 Plus? Do you think it's too big? I think it's kind of pretty much spot on. But I think that's all we can expect right now for Apple. I'm not so sure about the different editions of the Apple Watch, having the plated gold version, the sport version, and the regular version. They might be a little bit too ambitious right now on bringing out 3 different versions of the watch. So we'll have to see. But Tim Cook just said he has one more thing he wants to talk about. So, we're talking about music. So I wonder if there's like maybe a streaming service, maybe? Subscription streaming service? We'll have to see. Looks like we've got one more thing, apparently. So iTunes has a festival going on in London. We all know that. So it looks like they're just setting up on stage to have music. So we'll probably just have a musical performance as we wrap up here. But we've got iOS 8 coming out very soon. We've got the iPhone 6, the iPhone 6 Plus. We've got the Apple Watch coming out in 2015. So the big thing right now this month, iPhone 6. So Apple has had a huge relationship with U2. So we'll have to see if they're going to come out and perform. So it looks like U2 is going to be performing at the Apple event today. So pretty much that's all the wrap up we have here, and they'll probably wrap up here in a minute as well. So let me know what you guys think. iPhone 6, iPhone 6 Plus, Apple Watch. Do you think they're being a little bit too ambitious with 3 different versions? Do you think that the iPhone 6 is going to hit the right points that people want it to hit, especially with being larger, especially the large version of 5.5 inches? Is that going to be too big of an iPhone? Is that going to be too small of an iPhone? Let us know what you guys think. That pretty much is going to wrap us up. I mean, U2 is playing in my head. Of course, I can't stream that because that is definitely going to be caught by YouTube's copyright, and this video would get taken down instantly. But that pretty much is it for us. It's a wrap-up, pretty much, of everything I have for you guys today and everything Apple has for us today. So thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel. We've got tons of technology and gaming-based content on a daily basis, so check us out. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. We'll have recaps later today, so be sure to watch this YouTube channel. We'll have recaps on all the stuff. We'll put opinions on it, and we'll see what we can get out of that. So thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Creighton Miller. I'd like to thank you guys for sticking with us. This has been a great turnout for the live show, but we'll leave off with U2 and them playing. So thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in our next YouTube video.